is Freestyle Libre 3. It's tiny, it's cute. I ended up in a chocolate factory to test it, and I think it is just good. Here is why. Hey, I'm Camille, Nerdabetic, your diabetes tech guy. For more videos about diabetes tech, including reviews, diabetes CEO interviews, and a lot more, subscribe down below. Let's start with design. Libre 3 is 70% smaller than Libre 2. This is the first diabetes wearable that actually passes my bed test. You see, I actually sleep on my side, and for the first time ever, I can actually sleep on my CGM side, and quite genuinely, I can't feel a thing. For me personally, this is a huge deal. Also, throughout the 2-week period, I haven't experienced a single compression low. This is when your body weight pressure results in a fake low glucose value on your sensor. This is very common when you're sleeping on a particular CGM site. In my 2-week period, I haven't experienced a single compression low, even though I was sleeping on my Freestyle Libre 3 every single night. In day-to-day wearing, I simply forgot I was wearing it multiple times. When it comes to comparing against Dexcom G6, it's much smaller. In terms of G7, I recently interviewed the CEO of Dexcom, Kevin Sayer, and he was wearing G7 during our interview. This is the actual product, and based on what I saw, I would say it's a similar size to this Freestyle Libre 3. It's very disappointing that Libre 3 is still only approved for your upper arm. With this small size, it should be approved for your abdomen, upper leg, lower leg, even lower back. Now, arguably the most important thing when it comes to CGM, accuracy. Libre 3 has a MARD of 9.2%. Remember, lower number means more accurate. In my personal testing, I have found it extremely inaccurate on day 1, reasonably inaccurate on day 2 and 3, and very accurate for the other 11 days. Abbott knows they have a problem with accuracy at the beginning of their sensor wear, as their own clinical trials show it. Their overall accuracy is 9.2, but if you dig into their clinical trials records, which I did, this 9.2 average is driven by very good accuracy of around 8.5 in the middle of sensor wear and very poor accuracy on day 1. Now, all CGMs have worse accuracy on day 1 due to simple human physiology. For example, G6 is 9.3 compared to their overall MARD of 9. But Libre 3's 11.2 MARD on day 1 is what I would call simply way beyond a reasonable margin of error for day 1. Now remember that simply isn't perfect in diabetes, but there's always perfect for you. I know people who have found Freestyle Libre 3 to be extremely accurate, and I also know people who found it extremely inaccurate. I know people who find Dexcom G6 extremely inaccurate, and I also know people who find Dexcom G6 extremely accurate. So remember, always to think about what's perfect for you. Now let's talk Bluetooth. In order to verify Libre 3's high glucose alarm capabilities, I went to my local chocolate factory to examine its capabilities. This was a very hard test, and I'm pleased to say high alarms work very effectively. This is all for science. I also measured the range of Libre 3, which is around 10 meters. Glucose is sent every minute. This did not impact my phone's battery life, which is very good news. In my experience, I have found every minute values quite useful when recovering from a hypo. So you know when you've just treated a hypo and you're like, I don't know if I should have more hypo treats or just wait. So when you get your glucose every single minute, I could see that I was at least flat and I wasn't dropping further. And you know, there wasn't that need to wait 5 minutes to get that information, so that was quite useful. Now with the app itself, it's fantastic to have alarms with full glucose value and trend. That's a huge upgrade over Freestyle Libre 2. all notifications are mirrored on your Apple Watch, so you can also see those alarms and alerts there. And they're not any ordinary notifications. See this warning sign? This means this is a critical notification. This is a new type of iOS notification which always shows up, even if you are in Do Not Disturb or bedtime focus. This notification actually pauses your podcast or music to play the alarm sound and get your complete attention. This is a unique feature which is only available to select companies, and it requires special permission from Apple. You can also turn off Override Do Not Disturb if you choose not to have that, but I think it's a very cool capability. Disappointingly, there is no Apple Watch app, so you can't check your glucose on demand. Only alarms and alerts are displayed on your Apple Watch. Also, there is no Today widget, no Siri integration, no Apple Health integration, no Pump integration, and the entire app looks, well, just like Libre Link app. Abbott has a lot of work to do in the app space. For me, I just still don't understand it. This diagram shows data for around 12 hours, which is way too much for a horizontal screen. As a Dexcom user, I am used to only seeing 3 hours of my glucose, which is very important. It's the most recent information which is actually helpful to make decisions. There have been so many times throughout the 2-week period where I looked at my Libre 3 app and thought, oh my goodness, my glucose has been all over the place. But actually that's not true, because it shows data from like 12 hours ago. So that giant spike hasn't happened recently. It happened like last night. So yeah, terrible user interface. App is the only option too. There is no handheld reader. And iPhone is the only choice. There is no Android app for Freestyle Libre 3 as of recording this video. The cheapest iPhone that works with Freestyle Libre 3 is the iPhone SE 2nd generation, which is £389. Now, if you have a child who needs to use Freestyle Libre 3, because there's no receiver, you also need to buy them an iPhone. Outrageous. Now, ultimately, the most important thing is access. Freestyle Libre 3, which is now available in Germany, retails at the same price of €60 per sensor, which is the same price as Freestyle Libre 2 or Freestyle Libre 1. So you're getting all these amazing enhancements, smaller sensor, improved alarms, all these new capabilities for the same price. So it really is a no-brainer. So to sum up, Freestyle Libre 3 is the smallest, lightest CGM yet. Wearing it just feels cute. That's the only way I can describe it. It's so small, it kind of feels like a toy. It's a truly fantastic device to wear. It's just good because of, in my opinion, bad accuracy that I've experienced over the first 2 to 3 days, and still pretty old-fashioned app. But I'm sure they're going to improve that going forward, and we can see how that develops. So those are my thoughts on Freestyle Libre 3. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are down below. Let me know what you think. Also, I'm thinking of maybe doing a separate video, doing a direct comparison of Libre 3 and Dexcom G6. Let me know if you would like that in the comments. Yes, I've read all of your comments under my previous video, and I try to address as many questions as possible in this video. If there is still something that I haven't talked about, please let me know in the comments and I will do my best to address it. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to catch my next video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.